be the lock. It's going to be that Jhin Bard to allow that playmaking to come in from On.
I don't think I've ever experienced more of a roller coaster of emotions in a draft than going from the, I don't know about Jhin, to the, oh my god, yes, we got the Bard. And we're going to follow that up with a Seraphine, with the Ashe Seraphine that you teased earlier. This, of course, very, very powerful. I still have my doubts about the Jhin, though. As you raised, this Jhin does feel like a lower damage pick, and to me, BLG have gone, well, we're playing through topside this game. That's just what's happening.
Well, what I think is really interesting about this draft for BLG is their identity is really clear. Ziggs is going to be playing side lanes, and Bessa is going to be isolated and hopefully going to be in a position where she can take over in team fights, and Bard's going to be everywhere. This game is very, very important for On. Him and Shun need to link up, but when you look at NIP on the other side of this, their scaling is clear. You have a winning bot side 2v2 with the Ashe and Seraphine that's been super consistent, a Vi that can make plays, a Poppy counterpick on the top side, and a scaling Azir that should be the strongest champion in the late game. This is certainly a good draft for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but it definitely comes down to how they're getting those early leads. The onus is on BLG. They would have it no other way.
Yeah. It's terrifying game one of BLG versus NIP. A very strong part of this composition.
It's never a good sign when you have to say that, oh, well, the Mbessa is the least of my worries for a long-range engage. That's never, like, a good feeling, as Shun makes his way flash.
I care. Just died. He just dies at level 1. First blood, but answered by Guan as the junglers come out. Theoretically, you know, I'm not seeing contests, but maybe a deadly flourish or something.
Would be funny if we got a Jhin steal here, but no way to contest with Knight having to back off of that fantastic gank. Once again, it's Guan who's actually setting the pace in the early game. We talk about the scaling from NIP, but so much of that comes down to their ability to take towers and play these side lanes and be able to have been a disaster if Azir falls, but now Dragon on the table and no mid laner.
China Crystalero is going to CC him for a long time, but the follow-up Tempered Fate gives just enough time for BLG to come over and answer back. Curtain Call actually connects to find Shun, and it's 1-for-1 with Awesome trapped in the river. BLG could easily grab themselves another kill, but Awesome, with a nicely timed flash, will avoid being knocked back by the Satchel Charge Deadly Flourish. Will hold him up for just a second, and the Magical Journey takes BLG all the closer. Fourth shot not even needed as Knight will collect the kill with a bouncing bomb. And up in the top side, Hoya not having a good time, will be flashed on and solo killed by Bin.
Oh, it's a disaster.
Using the Steadfast ends up using a nice Emperor's Divide to survive against all odds.
Care having to pull off some pretty big plays, but he might not even be safe here on the Azir. So we get some combat in the mid lane here with Viper targeted by Guan.
Viper has everything. He dies with everything. I was looking at that going, he has Flash, he has Cleanse. What could go wrong? Everything could go wrong.
I was right there with you, D. I was like, oh, he's got everything. He should be fine. Care. Oh, just barely gonna live the spear. Coming in from Jun. Oh, no. It's a disaster for NIP. He dies to the afterburn, as you call out, and that's free Dragon. Although Guan going to be able to pressure it out for now, as Shun saying, yeah, you know, we're not even really all that focused on these objectives. We'll take the kills. We'll take the gold instead.
The Magic 1-for-0 looked pretty good for NIP, but turning that into a 1-for-1 a little bit more awkward. Getting the Dragon, however, another turn in the favor of NIP. Their second Dragon of the game. Gold lead is not crazy just yet. 2.1k in the favor of BLG, when that is clearly what they've been prioritizing so far, and that could be reversed a lot further as Finn actually is going to spawn Shuo on top side, but that will not stop this engage. In comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, which will go wide. Shuo still waiting on the Encore, is going to lock him up with the beat drop, and Bin 1v3, and not a whole lot of ways out, is going to go down.
Yeah, he's going to go down, and now going to potentially try and turn onto Guan. Here he gets bursted.
Did not have a chance to play the game there. That was all CC the whole way. He was sitting there with no chance to do anything, and Care may very well feel the same. Didn't have Flash, but did fortunately manage to get away with the shifting sands, leaving BLG wide open for a mid lane tower take.
This is exactly what we talk about with Bilibili Gaming and why Shun has been so important towards this team. It's no longer waiting for your opportunity to arise. It's saying, this is my opportunity in terms of trade, so you're not going to be too concerned about that for either side with no objective spawning for over 2.5 minutes. It's going to be Knight taking that turret. You're going to be saying that a lot.
Very late, if they're winning the whole time. NIP have bought themselves quite a bit of runway with that. You just have to make sure that the gold lead does not change that. Grand Starfall onto the top side, and Hoya is absorbing a lot. That is not going to matter nearly.
Yeah, you're definitely right. It's not going to matter quite so much. No objective to even try and get priority over on the other side for NIP. So many resources put into killing that top laner, but again, what do you even take elsewhere on the map right now? BLG have done such a great job of setting up, but here's Knight.
When everybody on BLG can assassinate you from across the map, NIP know how to manufacture a situation where they get up close and personal. Knight going down, a big shift for NIP, and it gives them access to this mid lane tower, which they really want, especially because this whole time, Bin is hammering away on top side. Unfortunately, they will not get that chance as Awesome is forced to flash away. Flash forward from Shun, secures the kill, and now NIP got to get out of this curtain call as Guwan will manage to...
Of the Ashe is more than enough to be able to take down the ADC.
Oh my god, On goes in, he takes the journey! That looks too magical, but he will be able to walk this one a little further away at least. Mikhail's going to be used once again. Flash stun Guan into the wall, turns that around real quick for BLG. And now with Bin here as well, there's no way that BLG are losing that fight. No way that BLG are losing that dragon. They are taking whatever they want.
And that's not good for NIP. They need those dragons in order to have some sort of late game. BLG aren't even done. They're looking for Awesome.
Oh, I thought he was alive, but he was dead.
Where did he go, Dia? I saw him and then he was gone. He just disappeared off the map. I saw Zig's ultimate and then no more Ashe. It's incredible just how fast that champion gets bursted down. And this is the problem. This is the problem with giving Ziggs tower plate after tower plate, with giving him so much gold, is that he will be an assassin on the map. BLG not only win the fight, they get the dragon, they stop the stacking, they have full control of this game. They're up 6,000 gold. NIP's win condition is dwindling away. And BLG just showcasing why they've been considered one of the best teams in the LPL. Their dominance over this rift is astounding, and they keep pushing it forward.
And just like we talked about earlier, On is everywhere. He is mirroring Juan at every step. Schwo going to be piled in with him as Bin does get engaged on the bot side. Unlikely to win this 1v2, and it will remain a 1v2 as nobody is around to help Bin. A nice pick going NIP's way does help.
I mean, it's more gold. That's certainly nice. Bin has quite a lot of it on the Mbessa on the top side. You're going to need a couple of more of those in order to make full use of it. What do BLG do with this top side pressure? Now Gawan's looking to punish On, but Gawan could be in trouble here with the rest of BLG coming.
Yeah, On is the one who punishes here. This Bard has been insane. However, it is going to be caught by the Encore with his AD carry down. BLG in an awkward spot. Do still have On somehow walking out of that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It could be worse for NIP. You look at a lot of these exchanges and you just kind of assume that the worst is going to happen. They're able to at least get out with some gold. It's gone from a 6K lead to 4K1, but uh-oh. Bye, Awesome.
League of Ashe getting exploded when I think she's got at least a couple seconds more to live. The opportunity for BLG to pull off a play onto Care. Out goes the Tempered Feint. And forces Care underneath the tower. The satchel charge almost sure to do this one in, as there it goes. Another tier 2 claimed by BLG.
They BLG are going to be happy to start up. Viper, though?
Well, Viper's dead.
He's alone.
Viper is fine.
He's fine. He's winning. TP.
And there's a TP. This play has gone more wrong than I ever could have imagined. Public execution on Awesome. We'll take that Ashe away one more time. And an ult from Hoya helps speed the disengage from BLG along. I stand by what I said. Viper should be dead right now. And instead, Juan, Awesome, and Schwo are dead. If that doesn't say something about this game, I don't know what does.
Juan fearing the 2-2-7 Jhin, who is completely alone.
Larger perspective with full information that we have. Looked like a really good one. Didn't quite work out. Maybe they make another here onto Shun, who is mid lane, clearing out some waves, but Guan is going on that long flank on BLG. This is going to have to be the play. This is going to have to be a game-winning flank from Guan.
Yeah, and he's going to have to do it soon because I worry for NIP's sake that they might just be engaged on under their tower.
Woe's gone. Guan is still walking towards the play. There's a full curtain call being channeled. Guan is still walking towards the play. Awesome is dead. Guan has arrived at the play, and it is completely off screen as Viper finally is going to show up as Hoya dies, and Guan is the last one left alive. BLG take everything while NIP are unable to close their jaws on a play fast enough. They're working on Nexus towers as Guan is stuck under his inhibitor and dying for it.
Guan going for the ultimate flank ends up finding the ultimate failure as BLG dominate their way to a game 1 victory.
Last pick is going to be then whether NIP we're going to lock in Jace. This to me does not change the composition that much.
I will say I become more intrigued if this Mundo goes top and if this Jace goes to the jungle. That becomes a lot more interesting. Of course, Knight's already still left up, so maybe this entire point is moot. It's his best champion, and he gets to lock it in with the Jarvan, with the Renekton, with an Ezreal Nico on the bottom side to be able to create so many plays from on. It's basically the same formula that BLG played in the previous game. It looks like Jace is going to be going to the top side. Of course, those nerfs coming into Jace jungle still, he's relevant, but he's not quite as strong as he was. It looks like it is just going to be that matchup specifically into Renekton. And you're looking at a comp that, once again, has a very specific win condition for NIP, except you might not have the same kind of flexibility that you had in game number 1. NIP, for sure, have tools to be able to scale into the late game, and you do have things like Jace and Corki and Nami, but if this Mundo Aurora in the middle of the map just doesn't have tempo, and if this top side from Renekton, Jarvan, Ahri, and with Nico, once again, with On once again being able to move around the map, if that gets out of control.
Extraordinary amount of early jungle and mid pressure coming out of BLG. Can NIP answer back in game number 2? For the next few minutes, actually dipping in to refresh some vision for himself, as it is NIP.
This 2v2 would have been, it's really going to be up to Hoya, who is kind of the lone player with a significant gold lead on the side of NIP.
And in contrast to game number 1, where we saw Awesome around the mid-game at least be the gold advantage, right now at the 10-minute mark, still lagging a little behind, and On with a flash and a double Pop Blossom is going to pick up not just first blood, but a double
BLG are
kill.
looking at a very, very clear gold lead.
And for those of you who may not have taken stock, Awesome and Shuo did both die with flash up in that scenario, which is going to be really important around the next dragon should they want to contest it. But that contest is happening right now as On does go low, but a Cataclysm lands onto Guan, instantly gets taken down. The focus from BLG, unavoidable. On will be answered back as KR fakes getting out over the wall, but will be spotted out by sweepers and chased down in the jungle. First charm not going to land onto him, as Awesome is actually here to help him out. Maybe KR gets out of this. Maybe it's just a 1-for-1, but Knight says no, flashing over the wall to take down KR. Another charm landing. This should be the end of the play for BLG.
You would think, but Awesome's so far forward. He's just gonna die
at all in this series. It is gold, and at the cost of all else, should they need it. On gonna move on forward, maybe look for a small bit of damage, not quite an engage, onto Shuo, but this is still a 2.6k gold lead for BLG, and an Ezreal that hits like a truck.
Yeah, this Ezreal's doing a lot. Look at the item difference between these 280 carries. That's why BLG's walking forward here.
Also got Knight in the jungle as well. Cataclysm instantly onto Guan. Going to be answered back by the tidal wave, and KR is here as well. So very quickly, you see Shun fall. Knight will be able to get away with the last 2 charges of his ultimate. Now Viper turns his attention on to KR, who has stepped a little too far forward, collecting a double kill on Guan as well. Now, fortunately for NIP, they do get to move and take a little bit of the jungle. Will they get first tower, though? Is BLG actually in position to take this? And On in position to find another engage in the mid lane. Awesome is deleted, and Shuo gets out alive. While all that's happening, Knight manages to pick up first tower, and Viper is answered back with a flash from Guan, and maybe a double kill from Guan in the mid lane.
He's not even done. Shun's gonna chase him down, but does he have the damage? Yeah, he's done. Shun's gonna be able to pick up the trade kill there, but that's a big shutdown going in favor of this Mundo. I can block the shock blast coming in from Hoya. Could have been very, very bad onto that Jarvan if it did end up landing. Still, overall, not a bad play. Even if you do get this Herald crashing into the mid lane, you don't take life here. You're certainly gonna feel comfortable with this, but at the end of the day, BLG not worried.
Who was sitting there on the flank. I was gonna call it a Giga flank, but then I remember what Guan pulled in game 1, and nothing is quite Giga compared to that. BLG will take this dragon. NIP choose not to contest for it, and their decision made is to back off and just grab a little bit of farm, K-Man. It's safe. It's not stylish, but it's safe.
I mean, this is the correct play in every universe here. The moment that you're not able to burst down that Jarvan before the fight starts, you have no way of being able to get back into this Ezreal poke. Very worth noting, Guan goes Randuin's as his second item in this game. See how that ends up panning out for him as Knight. The target on the top side.
Likely going to be taken out as well. Pretty squishy on Ahri. Last auto will land, and it'll be Hoya that collects the kill. Bot side, however, things do not go NIP's way as Care will be taken out as well. Both mid laners falling, both mid laners going to be back at around the same time, but crucially, Hoya, with a little bit of alone time, is going to get himself some gold on the top side and could look for more, as a dive is possible, and I say that as Bin teleports up to the top side, and suddenly it is not.
A dive is very unlikely against a Renekton with ultimate available here. It's actually Bin who's going to look to play aggressive, even with them in range. He's going for it.
Flashed forward. And Shun's here as well, which I suppose just denies any answer from NIP. That is a dead Jace. How does Guan will be frontlining once again, moving right on forward on top of BLG. Hasn't taken too much damage just yet, but NIP don't want to give up on this engagement. BLG appear to be saying, why? Why are you pushing this so hard? We still have Viper, who is still a monster, and now a teleport flank as well. Moving on forward. He's going to collect 2 in his Pop Blossom, turning that into kills for BLG as Hoya melts in front of Viper. Care and Guan are running away through the jungle. Guan, to his credit, alive. But not much more to be said for him as Knight moves forward onto Care. Not a care in the world, and Viper now should be able to collect the kill and will do so. Okay, shifting his way forward. Guan does get out.
He's trying to reach his third item, but look at the inventory of Viper on the other side. He's a full item up. That means free second dragon here for BLG. LPL kill leaderboard. He's having a fantastic game on the Renekton despite going down early. Ends up picking up that kill on the top side, and he's going to continue to be a big problem. Care's back. Oh, no.
See how many kills Knight can collect.
Knight should be pretty free to be able to come in here and secure this objective. It's actually going to come in the mid lane, so this fight's going to start without him here.
The one wants to get into the pit and is going to be denied that with the Pop Blossom. Doesn't actually CC Mundo, but it sets up for everyone else too. Guan eating a lot of damage, and the rest of his team's not having too much fun either. Shun still in the front line, still very much alive on this Jarvan, and with a flash to secure a double knock-up. They'll turn that quickly into a double kill for Viper, a double kill for Shun, and an ace for BLG. The Baron, a foregone conclusion now for the squad.
It's just the wallets are too thick as Care.
He's actually a monster.
No
finds
way.
One kill.
No way.
Almost finds another. He does find another.
He's alive.
Save it. He's thinking about going back in. Knight's here now. Baron's still likely going to be taken down. I don't see Care returning to the scene of the crime here.
Yeah, he's just going to disengage, but like, what a play from Care. That's actually a really valuable play for him to have made. You know, I was really confused about the teleport, but he saw the angle that I did not see, and at least get himself something. But the 10k gold lead would argue that, well, and maybe the dead body of Care would argue that that wasn't as influential.
Yeah, as we come back to live, it doesn't seem like this intermediate step went too well for him. Being able to take 2 Barons off the table, great news, but being unable to defend the base has put NIP back in a little bit of a pickle. We'll take a look at how this happened once again.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ahri. It's Knight's Ahri, just finding the Aurora. All the tools burned and used. Yes, that is a very important distinction. Knight's Ahri, of course, a very legendary pick in the game of League of Legends. He is showing why in this game number 2. BLG looking to end this. They are pincering NIP in their own base.
Very scary when you are being pincered, but underneath your own inhibitor tower.
Oh, awesome.
Maybe 400 HP left on the man, is going to have to back away and quickly heal up. Unfortunately, that will not be quick enough to defend the mid lane inhibitor tower, and unlikely to be inhibitor either, as remember, BLG still have all of this poke from Ezreal backing them up. They will end up starting to back away, and On decides that's simply not happening. That is another kill going the way of BLG as Viper sits untouched in the back line. Awesome tries to back away, but Knight moves in and assassinates him. Now looks for Zhuo. Ari is unstoppable, and Knight picks up a double, makes it a triple, and turns that into a game-winning moment for BLG.
Bilibili Gaming dominate 2 games in this series. They're 1 away from punching their ticket to upper bracket round 2, and they do so in, let's just say, exciting fashion. It's gonna be the LeBlanc. That's what I want to see. I wanted to see an assassin, and he gives me my wish here.
I really thought we were going to see a Syndra pick, but I like this. I mean, BLG, I want to talk about their composition a little bit later. NIP's comp, did it give you what you were looking for? Is this the proactivity that NIP needed going into Game 3 that they have not demonstrated in Games 1 and 2?
Honestly, yes. I think you have plenty of proactivity on the map here. I think you are actually better throughout most of the early game. There's really not a lot of ways for BLG to punish, even if that Misfortune and LeBlanc are going to be pushing forward. These are champions that do kind of want to snowball, and I don't think you have the best synergy here with the Lulu, who's not really going to be able to help all that much in the early game outside of the 2v2, but look at the playmaking tools. If this Kiana gets any
avenues to take a game, or like we said, even a gold lead, NIP need a victory here, big or small. Can they do it in Game 3?
Oh, we're already getting some action topside. Hoya's in trouble.
Unfortunately, not going to have a good time with this. Chain does go wide, but
the flash
from Knight will secure first blood, and I want to say that, wow, we couldn't see this coming, but we could definitely see this coming.
Less playmaking tools, and this could be a little bit difficult as I can walk up.
Oh no.
One's in trouble
It's
here.
happening again. He walks in thinking that he's safe, but he's not. Shun pops out of the bush and jump scares. Once again, it will be a 1-for-2 in the mid lane, but a double kill for...
Ping's coming down, actually, onto the invade here. They could look to dive. They really wanted to do that. Hoya, stolen ult.
That's big. Hoya answers back from minute 1.
Going to steal away some camps, but it will just be a trade of steals. Be on the top side here. They could look for a dive on Bin.
Level 6 already for Guan and Bin. No raid.
Oh, Knight's here.
Nothing to do. In comes the Twisted Fate, and Care is going to help secure that kill, but Knight has roamed up to help things out. Actually might look for an answer onto Care as well. Does need to play a little careful with Hoya in the area, but...
Roa first, and completing Roa 7 minutes into the game is a really good feeling for a Twisted Fate that, you know, can really utilize these ults to open up the map.
This could get a whole lot worse. Shun already showing up in the mid lane. Doesn't have ult available just yet, but...
Caster Blessing on the bot side in game number 2. Caster Curse in the mid lane here for game number 3, with Care immediately dying with that Roa stack. Knight has 4 kills on this LeBlanc. He's moving to the top side as well. They want to dive this Sylas.
Could easily make it 5, and over the wall he goes. Hoya low, Hoya gone. And that is... I guess not making it 5, since Bin did get the kill, but it's 5 in my heart.
5 in all of our hearts in terms of Knight's impact on this game. The best player in the league continues to fight as Viper unleashes on Awesome.
That was a nice bullet time. Is it enough? Last auto says it is, and Viper secures a kill on Awesome. Not able to step up into Zhuo, who could actually still take him down, but perfectly comfortable playing on the edge of that range and throwing in as much damage onto Karma as physically possible. BLG will be able to shove in yet another wave, and that means a gold lead generated bot lane, and the first time that we see BLG take the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. It's a 1.5k gold lead for the comp that scales a lot better. The one snowballing piece on the team is Knight, who has 4 kills. It's not looking good for NIP. Awesome is at a really tough series up until... Yeah, I imagine small bit of miscommunication as Knight He's gonna make his way out. Gwon continuing to at least steal away resources and camps as a bit of a CS lead, but
his gold card expired, so he has literally nothing to say about this. Swell, I thought had a read on the fact that this gank was going to happen, but instead is clearing camps in the area and will have to rotate down quickly. Supreme display of talent forces the flash on Viper. A cancellation of the bullet time as he plays underneath the tower, gets the extra growth, but is not going to, even with the wild growth.
Fed on this LeBlanc. He has been unbelievably good in this series up until this point. Even Ben has started to shove in Hoya. He's got a level lead on the top side at this point with the Gnar. No stolen ultimate, no problem. We do get a nice trade there, but overall, it's just a disaster for NIP as taking on.
Be a kill. Nice.
Yeah. It's something. They are going to be able to pick that up.
It is more than something. There's a good news story developing here for NIP. As we don't have to hold that for the bad news story that's developing. Gank into the bot side actually could turn into a little bit more for NIP, and it will, 1-for-1 as Care goes down. But NIP continue to feed their win condition.
Lose Care, and if you're really going to lose Hoya on the top side as we get in this picture-in-picture, things become more difficult. Gwon is in the area, but it's just not going to happen, man.
I want to remind you, us, this is a conversation piece. We're going to have to watch Gwon be forced out of the river first and actually walk back because he wants to die. He's still alive, and now that has been rectified. Viper ends up picking up the kill. A situation where Gwon had absolutely no right walking up, and Shun actually did with the wild growth. Gets a little bit of shielding as well. Survives for a very long time, enough to let Viper channel the bullet time, but maybe they've overstepped. Maybe Awesome is popping the heck off with a triple kill and chasing down Knight, even forcing a flash out of LeBlanc.
On the scoreboard there after that one, but again, for NIP, they've got the tools. Does Hoya have the tools to get out of here?
I think. I hope. He does not. I guess not. BLG and Bin specifically make a solo kill happen, much like Hoya did to them earlier. Knight's gonna walk, keeps another kill from going over to Yunara. In addition, BLG end up getting the bot lane tier 1, which will almost round them out. The mid lane, the last one standing, and surely, in terms of keeping yourself alive, there are worse things. No objective up at the moment, although we do have to think about 2 minutes from now. The Hextech Dragon that will be up. Gwon, unfortunately, likely not going to survive to that point as he gets chained up and taken down. Supreme display of talent erupts. Celebrate his falling as flash forward from Awesome might kill Viper, but he gets polymorphed and taken down. The assassination comes out of Knight, and this time it's going to be BLG who managed to take the fight. Flash away over the wall is answered by Care, but Shun is still all over him. Stun comes out once again, slowed underneath the tower. Shun might just commit for this. Dash.
Shun is going deep.
Not up in time. But this was a big blow that was just dealt to NIP, taking Awesome off of Summoner's Rift, even for the second they were able to, and importantly, getting gold onto their own carries once again. It's just a really good news story. We'll note Bin is about to go Mega, but Hoya answers that back with a nicely timed steal on his ultimate. Awesome does get aggressive, however, and Viper, unfortunately, steps 1 foot too far up and falls to Awesome. Not something that we can be allowing in a game where Awesome must die.
Viper forgetting he's not Ezreal in this game and stepping up way too far on the low mobility misfortune. That should be Dragon completely secured here for NIP. That means the stacking is delayed, and that is a nice pickup. It's not going to be the end of the world for BLG, but it's certainly a win for NIP, something they've been
struggling. Whatever that was interesting. Whatever the amount of damage that just happened to Awesome was, I'm sure that interests him a lot. Hoya, unfortunately, captivated by Bin right now, will be slowed up on the way out, and once again, steal the Gnar ultimate, this time for a disengage if he is lucky, and unfortunately, he is not. He gets taken out pretty darn quickly.
So many ways to start fights with the Gnar, with the Wukong, with the Lulu ultimate. So many different ways to be able to play more aggressive if they do want to group up and look for these picks. So we see what happened with Hoya. A lot of wandering for this Silas. As Awesome ends up dying there, things could get really bad for NIP. Same thing for the Hoya teleport. If those chains land on a Knight, he probably kills him, even with the lack of gold that he has. Cosmic Drive and Rocket Belt is that strong on that champion. Scary, even though he's down 3,000 gold. It's crazy to say that, you know, one chain could really actually make a bit of a difference in these exchanges. My question, though, is where is Knight? Where is he going to put that pressure? What's he going to do? Here's the answer. My bad.
We found it.
We found it.
The vision control is where it begins, brother. BLG, they now having taken one pick, are going to be able to threaten Baron. Finding another would secure Baron for them. And unfortunately, NIP just don't have a whole lot of options to walk up into something that they know is a 4v5. Instead, it's Shun who has plenty of space to walk up, force a supreme display of talent that hits nothing, and solo kill Guwon. With a jungler down, NIP must answer or lose Baron, and it looks like they're losing Baron.
Yeah, I don't know how you answer here. 35 seconds on a Kiana that's already desperately far behind in terms of resources and gold. Shun, yes, he's a little bit lower in health. He's got a Guardian Angel completed, so even if you want to feel like you can take down this jungler, he's still going to be able to survive in some key moments. It will be a trade of tier 1 mid lane, but if that's your trade, that is a desperation play, as this Baron is off the map and in the hands of BLG.
I can tell you that 100 out of 100 times I would trade tier 1 mid lane for Baron. Exactly as you say, it is a sign of desperate times for NIP, but they make the trade, and unfortunately they trade a little bit more than they wanted to. Care loses the game for a little bit. He loses the game, like his own sense of the game, not loses the game for the team. And that costs him. This also going to cost Awesome, as everybody's game sense just seems to have been completely thrown off by this Baron play. We know that BLG are in the bush. We know that they're walking into your jungle. And NIP lose the Baron, but they also lose all sense of where BLG are on the map.
I'm just watching the bricks on the building slowly fall and crumble everywhere on the ground. It's play after play. It's dynamic pick after dynamic pick. It's BLG excellence everywhere across the map. And with these death timers, BLG could push for a lot and potentially even game here.
It certainly depends on what picks, if any, they can find. The inhibitor sure to fall, no question about that. And the rest, really up to Shun, as he'd be their pick machine for now, being no rage. Shun is setting up the mid lane wave to hopefully grab a tier 2 tower, something that seems unlikely with 3 members of NIP in the area, but a respectable possibility nonetheless, especially as BLG take to the map once again.
Yeah, they are on the map, and they are feeling like they can basically get away with whatever they want here. It's a 6k gold lead, not the largest they've had in this series, but an 11-kill LeBlanc will certainly make it feel a little bit scarier. 10 stacks of the Medjai's completed. Knight is a scary, scary man right now on the Rift. The 4,000 gold lead for this Gnar on the top side, who has been terrific. Ben has been phenomenal throughout this entire series, and with the Siege coming down, with the rest of this Baron buff, we'll see what NIP can do to dissuade this. Flank on the way for Shun.
And in comes the 2-man engage, does manage to catch a single member completely isolated. It is Care that goes down, a double kill goes the way of Viper, but Hoya wants to answer back, does get out over the wall as he retreats, and ultimately finds the kill on Viper, but it does little for the mostly dead NIP squad. Everyone but Zhuo has been taken out, and Knight, not a care in the world, has plenty of time to spend harassing the support. Does go down. It's 1,000 gold shut down to Zhuo. Doesn't change much, but it does look pretty cool.
Knight said he wanted to face Zhuo in the playoffs. BLG chose NIP, and doing so will get them into round number 2 as a fantastic